4, 3, 2,
All right.
1, go.
All right. Weekend update
I'm the
presented by
producer
Coolbet.
now.
Yeah. Chad
Look
is
at me.
taking
I'm the
over.
captain now.
Kenny's cutting in over there. But yeah, weekend update presented by Coolbet. We got to make sure we get the sponsor in there. So we got to say that over Chad. But I wanted to talk to you guys about this NBA play-in tournament because I'll be honest, I didn't hear about it until a week ago when LeBron made his little comment. I don't watch a lot of NBA.
Yeah.
But I'm going to give you the quick breakdown of how it works. So the 7 team plays the 8 team. The 9 team plays the 10 team. Now, the winner of the 7-8 is the 7 seed. The loser of the 7-8 plays the winner of the 8 or the 9-10, and then they're the 8 seed. So I want to know, how do you guys feel about that?
I feel
Is
the
it
same way.
Like a one game.
One.
Like series?
Yeah, one and done.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel
So
I feel the
winner
same
of
way
the-
about it now. Sorry, Chad. Go ahead, buddy. Go ahead. Sorry, I'm cutting you off.
So I want to make sure I get this right. So the loser of the 7-8 game plays the winner of the 9-10
Yeah.
game to get
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
I guess only 2. Sorry, I thought you meant it was going to be like a best of 3 when you first said it, and I was like, dude, that's a lot of fucking basketball games.
Yeah, no, this is all happening over the
No
course
one
of like a
watched
Friday,
last year.
Saturday, Sunday.
Like I know they need some help. Like their ratings are shit this year.
Yeah.
No one watched the finals last year, so I like it from that aspect. It does suck because maybe a team that should be there might not be there, but at the same time, if you're the 10 seed, you have to earn your way in.
Right.
So I think that's okay.
Yeah.
I feel bad if a 7 seed loses 2 in a row, but at the same time, like you gotta win to play the game, right? So
Yeah. Play
Yeah.
ball,
I think
right?
it's good
Well-
for basketball. They need it right now. They need all the help they can get.
Yeah.
But if
I
you
mean,
lose,
I think
if
it's
a superstar team gets knocked out, that's where it could be a problem for the ratings.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just proves that the NBA season is irrelevant. I mean, if you can just be 10 games under 500 and be the 10 seed and then crank it up the last week, get a stride, and then fight your way in, I don't know. Does that not feel like participation ribbons to you? I know, Kalen, you're more of a basketball guy than we are, but like, how do you feel about that as a
yeah.
basketball fan?
Well, I got to be honest. As Chad said, it kind of adds some drama to the show. Everybody loves a Cinderella story, and if a 10 seed can win a couple of games to make it to the dance and go maybe win another one and then get knocked out or make it all the way to the finals, that would do something for ratings. Like Chad said, there would be hurt if there was a super team that got knocked out, but those bottom dwelling teams that are playing to get in, it doesn't hurt there. I think that it would only hurt in the next round, but by then you would already have cranked up the ratings with the Cinderella story there. I like it. I liked it the day that it was announced. I like it now. I'm not like LeBron James, who comes out and says he loves it 2 months ago because of these outsider teams like New Orleans he specifically talked about that was on the outside looking in that could get a play in. And then now that his team is potentially having to play in, he thinks it's some bullshit idea. Famous LeBron backtracking on his comments all the time.
Dude,
I
that guy's
love
the
it.
worst.
I think it's
He is the absolute worst.
there's certain things I love that he does for the sport, and it's amazing that we get to watch a talent like that play. And it's great that we get to have a debate like who's the better player, him or Jordan. Like if we didn't have
there's no debate.
What I mean is that there's but what I mean is it's nice to at least have it. At least it's there. Some people are going to have an opinion some way, one way or another, right? So I'm glad that we get to watch him. But what he's the masquerade that he has done with the NBA over the last 6 or 7 years, switching teams, bringing in his players, and doing whatever he wanted to do in Cleveland because he was the king of the town, kind of thing. It's worn thin on me, man. And that this specifically, you're the king of friggin' LA, man. What more do you need around you that you guys like? I understand you're hurt. Anthony Davis got hurt. You're not going to win a championship every year, right? There's going to be some parity, and that's what this allows for. So
no, when it comes down to it, like
the Lakers get knocked out.
The LeBron James and Michael Jordan debate is Eminem and Machine Gun Kelly, and that's enough. And that's all that needs to be said about it. And Chad, I cut you off there, so go ahead.
I said if the Lakers don't get in, are the ratings done for the NBA?
No.
I don't even know. I mean, there's a lot of people.
Like,
yeah, I don't know. Like, there's this.
Are the not big fans going to watch?
So the only household name though you're talking about with the Lakers though, right? Anthony Davis is great, but LeBron people watch the Lakers to watch LeBron James. And I think at this point, though, if you read the comments along many forum boards, the dives he's taking, the antics he's putting on the court, the shit off the court he's doing, I think it's just getting everybody's tired, man. It's all it is at this point. So no, I think there's somebody else. There's always going to be somebody else ready to take the show. The Lakers aren't it.
I have a real basketball question for you, though.
Yeah.
Do you actually think that LeBron James can save the Looney Tunes from Martian Mansion? Because I don't.
Sorry, that he could what? That he could save the Are you talking about the new Space Jam movie? And that specifically right then and there, right? Like that just adds to this whole story with Jordan and LeBron. Jordan's season 1, LeBron season 2, right? Like it just the more and more, you know, it's nice to have that conversation, but people certainly are adding to it.
Yeah. LeBron would suck a dick for a chance to be Michael Jordan for a second. That's the end of that. But the NHL is kind of in the, and as far as like I listen to a lot of different kind of podcasts and a lot of different radio streams, but the Rangers and the Capitals were the hot topic today. And as far as hockey goes outside of the playoffs, that's never really the case. So I'm guessing that everyone has saw what happened with the Rangers and the Capitals, what led to it and why it happened. So for the hockey purist out there that thinks that this has no point in the game and this, I mean, if Tom Wilson was suspended, this would have never happened. I want to know what your thoughts are on something like that.
Kayla,
you talking to me?
Because I have a lot to say.
Anything, man. Go ahead. Fire away.
So here, I'm going to start out by saying this. I don't agree with what Tom Wilson did initially when he was on top of the Berzovic and he punched him in the head when he's getting up off the ice. Bitch move. I don't agree with that. Everything that happened after that, I'm totally fine with. You had Strome that jumped on his back. You had Panarin that jumped on his back. He's got 2 people hanging off him. All he's going to do is defend himself. That's hockey, and that's pretty much anywhere in the world you're going to be. You got 2 guys hanging off you, and you know what's going to happen next. You're going to defend yourself. Panarin picked a bad fight. What happened last night with the fights, I love that. I love there was a line brawl off the hop. Everybody was involved. Tom Wilson coming in and fighting then right after that in front of the penalty box. I think that was something that they intended to do too, with making sure, hey, we're going to fight in front of the guys that are in the box that just fought. But Wilson handled business. Like, who's going to take the guy down at this point? I know the Leafs guys, we're in Leaf Nation here, and I've been seeing some tweets. We got Simmons, we got Clune, we got Foligno, we got Thornton. Come on. All these guys fought Wilson. All these guys lost. And Wilson hasn't gotten worse in fighting like these other guys have. And
they're not going to play until next year anyway. Like Tom Wilson and the Capitals are not making it to the Final Four.
You don't think so? Why not?
No, because they fucking stink. They're horrible.
That division's pretty weak. Their division's pretty weak.
That division is the strongest division in hockey right now.
I agree the division is the strongest division in hockey, but I do believe that they played their division extremely well.
Yeah.
So I'm saying they're weak. Like, I think they have a great opportunity against the other teams that are there, except for maybe Pittsburgh. I think they're still a dark horse, Pittsburgh. I know you haven't been on their wagon all year, but
they're in first place. I mean, like, they're in first place in their division, and that's a great division. And the Bruins are strong, and they've only gotten better since they added your boy Taylor. And the Islanders have been strong all year. And the Capitals are probably the 4th best team out of those going into the playoffs. So there's no way that they're playing the Leafs in the playoffs. Anyway, Chad, what do you think? I mean, you're a fighting guy, and you played hockey.
Yeah, I've done a couple of those things, sometimes at the same time. The whole Wilson thing and the fight thing, that shit happens every game the first night. Did I like when he punched in the back of the head? No. The shit that happened after that, that's a regular hockey scrum in my eyes. It happens sometimes. Things out of control. The punch in the back of the head, the drag of the guy face first in the ice, uncalled for. Once again, I do agree with Kalen. Panarin picked a bad fight. That was the wrong guy to grab.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he ragdolled him, but like there is supposed to be a code. You went past the code. Should he be suspended for it? I don't know. The fact that he is a repeat offender, I think that's what the shot at him was. I don't think it was a suspendable offense. That being said, nothing made me happier than when I saw the following night. Kalen, obviously you don't know how to count though. Only 3 guys fought, not 5. So that would not be a line brawl, but nice try.
Well, I guess the defensemen kind of held each other, you're right?
There was 6 fights in the first 5 minutes, though.
Yeah, the defenseman didn't get involved. That big, I saw that. The part I love the best is I loved about it was off the opening face-off. This is what we're doing. There was no questions asked, and now a lot of guys are saying like the Rangers are crybabies. I can't believe the Rangers did that. I can't believe they went out and did that off the opening face-off. All those people, I'm sorry, you never played hockey once in your life. Because it goes back to the first thing I said was there is a code. Whether it's right or wrong, like you do that in the streets, yes, you're going to jail. But guess what? We're not in streets. This is the hockey rink. This is how it goes down.
Right.
It takes you back to the Red Wings and the Avs back in the 90s. Like, you want people to watch hockey? Unfortunately, that's what they want to see. Everybody can say they hate fighting, but no one looks away when people fight. Everybody's watching. And Shane, I think you said something today in our group chat. It wasn't about this, but you said opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. And I think that's how I relate this to this topic. Everybody that didn't play hockey thinks it's uncalled for. Anybody that's like been in that moment and been on a team, that's what you do. And nothing made me happy when I saw it. And then the next shift, Wilson was on the ice. Boom, same thing happened again. And yes, Wilson handled business. He took care of himself.
Well,
the only thing I don't understand is why did the Rangers just bring up everybody? Fuck it, call it a day. We're losing this game. If I'm going for blood, I'm going for blood. You want to come, hey kid, you want your shot? Go beat this guy up. They can't say it doesn't happen anymore because that's a bold-faced lie. You go down to the minors, you go to AA on your affiliate team, there's going to be somebody that can do it. Why didn't you call that guy up? That's my only concern is that you didn't do it the right guys. But that's the end of my rant. I'm all about it. I thought it was great, and I need to see more of that shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, the NHL needs more of that for the ratings, but the Tom Wilson thing got a lot of press, and it was definitely not the cheapest play of the night. Obviously, you guys know I'm a Penguins fan. Penguins played the Flyers. Empty net goal to make it 7-3. Sean, what was his name? Sean, Kayla, you know who I'm talking about, right? Sean something on the Flyers. Sean something on the Flyers.
Gostisbehere?
Gostisbehere, that's what it was. Yeah. He hits the guy from behind after he scores 5 feet from the boards, and the guy flies into the boards, gets up, and he's fine. I mean, there's a little scuffle, but the guy got an immediate 2-game suspension. Like, it got announced that night. So, for all the people that think that the Tom Wilson thing was cheap and, like, get this guy out of the league, like, look at a guy like Gostisbehere. Give me a fucking break, man.
Well, did you see what Berzovic did last night? He got suspended too.
I didn't see it.
He cross-checked some guy in the face. Oh. That's the guy who got punched originally that started this whole thing with Wilson.
Yeah,
last night, I can't remember who was cross-checked. Yeah, and so he got hit. He got suspended for a game, which I think is hilarious. That reminds me, like when you're playing hockey, you're playing soccer, or whatever it may be, and hey ref, you didn't see this, and then you pull that same stunt, and the ref calls it on you, and the ref's like, well, I made sure to see that one. Well, same thing just happened here. Berzovic had a target on him. I don't know what he thinks he's going to get out of this whole thing. You're a scorer. You're not a fighter. Let the other guys do the work for you, man.
Yeah.
Especially a guy who had nothing to do with it. Go and cross-check somebody in the face.
The last take that I had was, and like you had to watch the highlights really closely to see this, but Zdeno Chara skated up to Smith on the Rangers and definitely looked like he wanted to throw with him. And Smith's just like, no, that's not happening. like, good for him. But I mean, he ended up going to fight Tom Wilson after. So like, I guess the last question I'll ask you guys on this topic: would you rather fight Zdeno Chara or Tom Wilson? That's a fucked up question because I think you're losing both fights.
Last week, I saw a video of Chara take another player's stick
all day long.
What? You're not gonna wake up for a week, man.
Hear me out. No one expects you to beat Zdeno Chara.
Yeah.
All you have to do is land one. Like, if you lose, guess what? You're like, well, Chad, you're 5'8". You fought a fucking giant. Your whole team pats you on the back, taps you on the head, says, good job. But if you land that one and you win that fight, you have the biggest dick in that locker room the rest of the season.
David and Goliath.
It's that simple.
Jeez.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
I mean, you sell it very well.
It's a smart call.
All right, Kalen,
Yeah.
who do you want to
didn't
get
say
punched
I
in
was
the
gonna
face
win.
from? You want the Tom Wilson punch or the Zdeno Chara punch?
I'll take the Tom. Yeah,
Okay.
because I think that Chara would go through me. Like that's over.
No, I'm gonna side with Chad on this, and I would much rather get hit by a giant. That like I know Tom Wilson is a scrappy dude, and he's one of the toughest guys in the NHL. But I don't know, man. I think less people would feel sorry for you after you get your ass whipped by that dude. But
yeah, so last week I saw Chara take a hockey stick from another player and just drop it on the ice in front of him. Like as he was scuffling one of his other teammates, just walk up, take it, boom.
yeah, guy's an ass. Guy's an asshole.
He's awesome.
But okay, so speaking of things that are kind of crazy, so let's go into things that are crazy. NFL, we're never gonna have any portion of any show that doesn't always lead back to the NFL. Obviously, all the players are trying to boycott the off season. Everything's going on, and Buddy from the Chargers tears his ACL or his Achilles or whatever, right? Now,
yeah, Juwan Taylor from the Broncos. Yeah.
Now, Broncos. Yeah, he used to play for the Chargers, right?
Yeah, and he hasn't played for 2 years for the Broncos. Actually, he got injured the first year and sat out last year.
Okay, beyond the point. The entire point of the story is he got hurt, and his contract is about to get voided because it got hurt away from the training facility. And the NFL sent out a memo to all the teams to say, you do not need to honor these guys' contracts if they don't show up to their offseason and they get themselves hurt. So what do you guys think of that? Because, I mean, I do have some baseball examples when we get to it, but, like, as far as the NFL goes, like, isn't that a little bit fucking nuts?
Like, are you, like, siding with the owners here, or are you siding with the players here in this situation?
Yeah, I sided with the players.
Okay.
I'm going to side with the owners on this one.
Yep.
For the simple fact is, and I'm gonna like relay it this way, and Shane, like you're a manager, you understand this. I've worked for you numerous times. If I get hurt outside of work, am I being paid? It's a simple thing across the
board. By the government, yeah.
Like, and a lot of these, like, yes, fine, 40% of my income, thumbs up.
Yeah.
But like for these guys, if you're like Ben Roethlisberger crashed a fucking motorcycle, why the fuck would I pay you?
They paid him anyway.
You don't like. Yeah, that's nice of them. All I'm saying is, like, you don't know what these guys are doing outside of, like, at the end of the day, your body is your job. For those guys, your body's your career. That's how you make your money. All of us, so like, if you get injured, doing team activities, we're gonna pay you. I'm sure if you're training with an actual trainer at home, doing your team program, I bet you get paid.
I don't know.
If you're out playing basketball in the backyard with your nephew and he crosses you over and you tear an ACL, no, you shouldn't get paid. I don't know. That's the way I feel about it.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, but I side with the owners on this one. It goes like there's no right answer for this, I think, at the end of the day. But when your body's your career, you got to be pretty. You got to really think about what you're doing with it on your off time.
Okay, Kalen, you're kind of on the same side as him.
Yeah, so I'm siding with the owners too. I think that, just like Chad said, you get hurt off. Now, as far as like working out with your own trainer, I still even think that that's off the table. Like if your team has an athletic trainer that puts in charge the way that you need to work out, the way that the team wants you to work out, and you decide to go off the rails and do something that's maybe a new technique or something that's a little more considered extreme in your workout procedure, then how is the team at fault for that? Like that's where I have to side with the team on that side. Now there was something with this report, and I haven't confirmed it yet. I just read it today, so I didn't get the chance to confirm it. But I read somewhere that he was told by the union that he was actually working out at the team facility before, and was told by the union, because of all this strife that's going on right now about this working out at home or working out at the team facilities, to go home because he was hurting their cause by working out at the facility, hurting the union's cause. And then he blew his Achilles the following day.
That's wild.
So I don't know if that's true or not. But then you hear stories about, I mean, this is something that I guess is as old as day. McAfee had AJ Hawk talking about how it's the long time joke was you bring a player to camp, like if you know your teammate's injured, you carry him to camp and you have somebody give him a lick at practice, and that's how he gets injured and gets paid. Yeah. Rick DiPietro was talking about, this is a funny, apparently one of his teammates, he didn't want to name who it was. We could probably find out because he got in play, obviously. But the night before a game, or night before practice, sorry, while cheating on his wife, out went on a date with a girlfriend, dancing, broke his leg. And his teammates carried him to the ice, and he skated around the ice for almost 45 seconds before he took a check from a teammate and broke his leg.
Jeez.
So it's just something that's going on for a long time. I guess the
Wow.
players have been, trying to do whatever they can to sidestep it. Yeah, right. But I mean, the players have been doing whatever they can to sidestep it for a very, very long time. So obviously, this is nothing new to them. They understand what this is about. So again, with this specific player, when you read the comments from the Broncos fans, guy got paid for 2 years for doing nothing so far. So they're not upset about another $10 million getting cut from him if that's what happens.
Yeah, well, I mean, during the Corona balonies, if they want these guys working from home, that's one thing. I think it makes sense if you let the guy opt out and he has no kind of repercussions, and then he starts working out at your facility, like you're saying, and they send him home, or his union sends him home. I don't know. It all seems messy. I'll bet you by the time this thing is all settled that there's some kind of you get like 50% of your contract if you get hurt away from like something along those lines. That's my guess. But
and the good news is he might actually still be able to play. I think they're saying that he might actually be able to play this season still somehow.
Yeah, because he heard that the Broncos are going to get Aaron Rodgers, so he's gonna go get like a cheetah tendon put into his ankle. I would do the same ththing, man. Like that's once in a lifetime. So yeah, I mean we'll see how that thing plays out. But there were some other so this broke today, and I still am trying to understand it. Now, keep in mind, I am not one of these like baseball masturbators that care about statistics and WAR and all that shit. Like all that stuff, I could care less about in baseball. Yeah, yeah, well, exactly. But Albert Pujols got released today. Now he's coming into the this is his final year of the contract, so they still owe him. I don't know. I think it was like $20 million, but according to like Sabermetrics, he's been less than average over the last 5 years. So they decided that now is just the time for him, and they were actually offering him to come off of the bench and be like, yeah, you're just not going to get much playing time anymore, but you can pinch hit and shit. And he's like, no, just cut me. So I know my level of petty, and I know Chad's level of petty. So I already know what the both of us would have done. But how can you release this guy and pay him $20 million to go play for somebody else?
I would let him sit on the bench and rot.
Me too. Yeah, show up bitter. Like the Angels they're never a playoff team. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah. He's chasing a home run record, isn't he?
Who cares? I mean, to be honest, they were talking about it on all the Toronto shows. Like, would you like to see Pujols in a Jays jersey? Like, no, I wouldn't. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. Where are you going to put him?
Yeah.
Like
how the mighty have fallen.
On the same bench
right?
that the Angels have.
Right, exactly. I mean, with analytics, I mean, he's probably going to end up on the Yankees or the Red Sox, to be honest. Like that's just kind of the way that it goes.
Yeah. It's true. And okay, realistically though, if they're not Yankees or Red Sox, where is the best fit for Pujols at this point in his career?
Retirement.
The bench with the Angels.
Yeah, no, it's honestly he can probably go play in the Cuban leagues and like draw some crowds. Terrible. But he was a absolutely great player, Hall of Fame player. And they always tell you to play until you're done playing. But I think this might be a symbol of like, hey, it might be time to finish up here, pal. Like, you can't go play in an NL team.
A loser.
You can't go play in an NL team because there's no way that you're playing first base.
There's no room. Yeah.
And tell me a team in the AL that needs a DH that strikes out more than he gets on base. I mean, honestly, that's the sales pitch. So if I was Pujols' agent, like, let's just hang it up. You just made $20 million this year. How you doing? Move on. On the same kind of topic, this is going to be a name that not many people are going to know, but Tanner Roark, who the Blue Jays signed 2 years ago for 2 years, $25 million. They finally decided to cut bait with it. The guy stinks. Like, he's absolute dumpster fire on the mound. If you need a hit, like, send this guy out there and he will break anybody's slump. He's
Where'd he
the
come
worst.
from to earn that kind of
however,
contract?
I think he came from Arizona, something like that.
Huh.
But it's just baseball. I mean, that's just how it works. But anyway, the Jays finally decided to cut bait with the guy. So what they have to do is they have to pay him $12.5 million this year. So by paying him $12.5 million, this guy gets cut by the Toronto Blue Jays, is making more this year than Austin Matthews does.
He must have
Baseball contracts.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah, right,
I'm just gonna let that sink in for a sec. There's really nothing to debate about it. He makes more than this next guy we're gonna talk about, which is I want to know if you guys think that if Connor McDavid is gonna get over 100 points this year. Currently sits at 93. The game on Thursday night tonight has not happened yet, so we still have 5 games left. He's at 93 points. Is he going to break the 100?
Yep. 100%.
100%. Wow, that's very certain.
We're talking 7 points. This guy's
go
averaging like a goal and assist every night.
I'm gonna say no, just be the other guy. And I saw the odds were better on Coolbet if you say no, so I'm gonna go no.
Yeah. Well, I posted that because I saw it. I was like, wow, this is a hidden bet.
It's a minus 500 to go over. Why would I take that bet?
Yeah.
I'm not winning anything by taking that bet.
Here's what I'm banking on is as the season goes on, I mean, clearly the Oilers are in the playoffs. The Leafs just need to secure that. The Leafs just need to secure that number 1 spot. And do you think he can get 7 points in 3 games and maybe he sits out the last 2, especially with the NHL schedule kind of in flux right now, not really knowing when the playoffs are going to start? I think it's plausible to imagine that he's going to sit a couple. If they play 5, he's only going to play in 3 or 4 of those games. And yeah, I'm going to say under just for money's sake, just for the value.
Just for the value.
Shane, what's the boost this weekend? We are way too long for our weekend update.
Okay. So the boost this weekend. So we got the Leafs on the money line. We got the Leafs and the Habs to go over 5.5 goals combined in regulation, and then the Oilers to win by 2 or more. And that's going to be
hockey.
Yeah. So I mean, if McDavid's going to have 7 goals on Saturday, like,
hey, we'll take it.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, Chad, good call on wrapping us up there because we could have just gone forever, and Liam's staring at us. So anyway, cheers, boys. We'll catch up. We're gonna go meet up with the BC Lions quarterback.